It's time to kind of do a mock draft. Dynasty Startup 2023, but in rankings fashion. Who are my top 25 Dynasty Fantasy Football players walking into the future 2023? Is Christian McCaffrey going to rank high? You might be able to tell I'm not putting him in the top 2, 3, 1, 5 on this ranking, but where does he fit in? Are these three guys the first three off the board? You kind of know me by now if you've watched my content. You probably will see these guys in the top three. Top four at least. We'll see. I haven't even done this. I'm doing it live. I'm breaking it down live. I've not pre-scripted this show at all. I'm going to go off of my feel. This could change over the course of the next couple weeks and months and obviously the entire season. This is me spitballing my own Dynasty rankings right now on the fly. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. I am your boy Smitty, and I am live ranking just on the fly my top 25 Dynasty players for Fantasy Football 2023 and beyond. So this is going to be quite an interesting video because I'm doing it live in front of you all, and I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know exactly who's going to be in my top 5 yet. I know who's probably going to be my top 3. I know who's probably going to be in my top 10. I know who's probably not going to be in my top 10. But there are several players that I might surprise myself on as we head through these rankings. And I might look to you guys when I'm feeling a little bit like I don't know where I'm going to take it from here. Let's kick off numero uno, which I think is debatable. Very, very debatable. I think some will say that, let's see here. Let me put this on screen. Some will say that JJ's the locked and loaded 1.1. Some will say that Bijan, Christian McCaffrey, there's a lot of arguments to be made. In Dynasty, I think about longevity. And when I'm using my first and second round picks, I tend to lean like quarterback in round 2. I tend to lean wide receiver in round 1. I'll sometimes go double wide receiver if I feel like the right player falls, because the shelf life of running back is so short. You have a 3 to 5 year window with RBs. And so I tend to lean wide receiver, especially when we're talking about a wide receiver like JJ or Jamar Chase, guys that are going to be around for about a decade or more. Chase is my number 1 overall player in Fantasy Football Dynasty. It's really hard for me to not put Bijan here. It's really hard for me to not put JJ here. But I feel like Chase is just getting going. I feel like so is JJ, obviously. Bijan, while I love him in the top 3, you might find him number 3. I'm kind of giving things away here. I think it's really hard to be, I think Diggs should be at least top 5. Not a chance, Casey. Not a chance. He's on like 1.5, 2 years left. Give him 2 years left. Even if we give him 2 years left, there's no way you can crack the top 5 if you're an aging wide receiver, my guy. So Dynasty is different than redraft. I don't know if you missed the title of the video, but Casey, he's not a Dynasty guy. He's definitely going to be in the top 15, but top 15, top 20, somewhere around there. We'll find out as we go, but there's no way you're drafting Diggs in the top 5 in Dynasty. If you are, you're not paying attention, Casey. Buckle up. Get your notebook out. All right, Chase, and I appreciate you, Casey, by the way. I appreciate you. Number 2 is going to be and on the same theme. We're going to go wide receiver, and we're going to put JJ at the number 2 spot. Wide receivers just last so much longer. These guys will be around for a decade of football. Casey, where would you really rank them in the top 10? I'm not tearing down your thinking here. I am curious to know if you're not worried about, some people play for the now and they don't play at all for the future in Dynasty. And sometimes those are the smartest people in the room. I'm just going to say it because your Dynasty league is not as strong as you think. Dynasty leagues crumble all the time. And for anybody to sit here and act like they know their crew, they know that life isn't going to get in the way of 3 or 4 people. Someone's not going to tear their team apart into a shamble and then say, I'm really busy, I got to leave this league. And then they sign up and do another league the next day. Don't play too far in the future. To Casey's point, the guy that wants to rank Diggs higher is probably smarter than the guy that wants to rank Diggs too low. Okay? Casey, if that makes sense. I didn't know this was Dynasty. Well, it's only in the title, Casey. It's only in the title of the video, but it's okay. But Casey, to Casey's point that he messed up trying to take that stance, Casey's onto something. The person that's more on the side of now is smarter than the person that is thinking 4 years down the road. You know what I'm saying? It's 4 years down the road is ridiculous. You're playing for second place. You're fighting to play for second place. You might not even lock in second place. If you're thinking too far down the road, you are literally going to end up having a team that never has enough power to win it all, while people that still have 3 and 4 big guns that are older are going to win. And then what are you going to do the next year when those teams reload and somehow they made great pickups and they're still strong? And you're like, why did I go the youth route, like total youth route, not mix in any older veterans? Sometimes mixing in an older quarterback is a great plan of attack, because like an Aaron Rodgers, for example, 2 years ago was worrying people about hanging it up. And look, he might get yet another year. Aaron Rodgers will play another year and played 3 years in a window of time where people 2 years ago thought he was potentially playing his last year. Now you're going to get 3 years out of it. And in the flip side, you could have drafted Brady last year and be left hanging, but you could also have Kyler Murray, who tore his ACL and is out most of the 2023 season. Chase, JJ, let's go. Chase, JJ, let's go. Number 3 is probably gonna shock some people, but not anybody that follows my content. This is definitely something that I feel is a no-brainer to me. Bijan Robinson, number 3 overall, and I know Worried William and Crazy Caleb and Petrified Peter in the back right there are saying, Smitty, wait a minute, I have a question. Smitty, he's never taken an NFL snap and you don't even know where he's getting drafted. Welcome to the live stream, Philip and Crazy Caleb and Worried William. This is where we are bold and ahead of the curve, and we predict that looking at landing spots look pretty darn good when you look at where Bijan's probably getting drafted to. Bijan's going to somewhere in this top 12. He's that good. He's generational. And so Bijan, to me, all these landing spots are straight fire. No one is drafting him into a cloudy situation. He's not getting drafted by the Colts in round 1 or getting drafted to the Seahawks at number 5 overall. It's Raiders, it's Falcons, it's Panthers, it's Eagles, it's maybe Cardinals, it's maybe the Texans, which would suck for Pierce owners. But if you draft Bijan, you're drafting Bijan to start. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Bijan's locked in to a really good landing spot. I just don't see a problem here. I think this is where it gets a little dicey. This is where you could literally, you're going to have just a different point of view. Everyone's going to have a different point of view just across the board. I'm going to pull up my own rankings, and I'm probably going to disagree with a lot of my own rankings, because every time I pull up, everyone always thinks, oh, Smitty, why is this different from your rankings? Well, if I go through my rankings at any moment, I will look at them. I will want to move someone around. Like immediately, just looking at it, I'll be like, that's not where I could change 5-6 things on my rankings every single time I look at them. This is the part where I'm going to start looking a lot crazier to you if you're new to my content, and you're going to say, what's this guy's off his rocker? Because I'm going to start leaning in directions a lot of other content creators, especially, the old dogs in the industry. They're going to be like, you got to do this, you got to do that. You're about to see me not only zig while there's trying to slowly zag, but we're going to do like somersaults while we're zigging. I'm not getting there yet, but I'm going to go ahead and say at this point, This is going to seem maybe high to some of you. Breece Hall, number 4. I think Breece Hall, number 4. You know, let's keep these color coordinated by position. So we'll go wide receivers will be orange. Running backs will be green. Number 5, we're going to roll with Walker. So we got 2 wide receivers and 3 RBs so far. Jamar Chase, JJ, standalone wide receivers. There's no one really in the tier of wide receiver that is JJ and Jamar Chase. Running backs, I feel like these are the top dogs in fantasy go forward. You could certainly swap Hall and Walker. I could get behind that. I mean, I love both of them, bro. You shouldn't be shocked by either one of these guys being ranked ahead. This is Dynasty. Sandu. So if it was redraft, you'd have Hall, down around the 10, 12, somewhere 8, 9. But because it's Dynasty, you're going to have him right here. I'm okay with this, though. You could put him there. This is where it's getting quite interesting. This might shock some people. Let's see here. This is hard because these are my rankings. You guys know the difference, right? If I rank someone this high and they don't need to be taken here, you understand by now watching my content, I am not recommending that you draft this player right here. I hope everybody understands that. That you got to know what I'm talking about. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. You're not going to see this anywhere else. I'm telling you that right now. And Jalen Hurts. Boom, 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 boom. What do I mean by that? Again, if you're new to my content, you might be like, this guy's crazy, I'm out of here. And that's fine. Bye. But what I'm trying to tell you here is these are the 3 RBs. These are the 2 wide receivers. And the QBs are absolutely, and you could switch Burrow and Mahomes. I'm fine with that. You could go Burrow, Mahomes, whichever works for you. What's this? I thought it was Joe's season. Sandu, what's going on with you? I have Hall and Walker at 4 and 5, and you're shocked by how disrespectful that is to Walker. I have Burrow and Mahomes neck and neck. I could swap either. And you're like, I thought it was Burrow's season. Because I have Burrow 7 instead of 6. Sandu, kick your feet up, bro. Kick your feet up. Get some popcorn. Relax, bro. Relax. This is it. You get past these 5 players, it's quarterback time. Not necessarily in this order. Not necessarily at 8, 9, 10 overall. But value-wise. You need to trade down into 13, 14, 15, 16. And this is where a new person, I'm not saying you're new, bro, but this is where a new person is not going to understand that I'm not telling you to draft Allen at number 8, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is use ADP to your advantage. These are my rankings. You don't draft off rankings, bro. You draft around ADP using rankings to your advantage. Anybody that literally comes away from this video saying he thinks you should draft Allen, Hurts, Burrow, and Mahomes at 6, 7, 8, 9, you're not paying attention. This one is not a super flex. This is not the order. I know this is going to confuse everybody because I'm trying to be as clear as possible. This is not the order. This is not how you draft them, but this is how you value them. And if Hurts is falling at 20 or 14 or 16, You know you're dominating your league. This is a 1 QB, not super flex, correct? Of course it's not, bro. It really is strange though. Because I guarantee you, some of you are still thinking that I want you to draft these guys at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know someone in the comments is going to say, I'm not drafting Allen at 8. You're out of your mind. I would have picked Waddle and Garrett Wilson here. Okay. On to the next wide receiver. Number 10. Whoops. Number 10 is going to be, I just copied Garrett Wilson's, JJ's color. And let me just drop that there. Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's the number 3 wide receiver ranked. That seems high, but it's how I feel. Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Hurts, Garrett Wilson. Okay. This next one might surprise you as well. Could I switch QBs to yellow or let's get them let's go blue. How's blue? And anybody that's literally worried about these quarterback values, not where you draft them. These are not their ADPs. If anybody says anything about I'm not drafting QBs that high, hit them with the take a lap. Hit them with the take a lap because they're not paying attention. I'm trying to read what some of you are saying. Chase, JJ, Wilson, top 3 wide receivers. Bijan, Hall, Walker, top 3 running backs. Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, Hurts. This one might shock some people. Ready? Changing of the guard, guys. Changing of the guard. Gibbs. Tight ends purple. Okay, we'll go tight ends purple. Gibbs. Early. I know it's early. Gibbs is a top 10 player. I don't even know where I'm going next. I'm looking at it right now. Like, it's hard to leave JT out, but you can't go JT this early. Garrett Wilson. What am I at? Number 11? Number 11. Who have I left out from my older rankings here? Nobody. This is matching up pretty nicely. Moonman Rick says Wilson, question mark. Yeah, Wilson. What do you mean Wilson? What else? What other Wilson you thinking of? Talking about Garrett Wilson, my guy. They're color coordinated for you. No tight ends yet. Kyle Pitts is probably the number 1 dynasty tight end, but you know the now factor for Kelsey still makes you rank him pretty close. You know, if I'm starting a dynasty startup, I'm drafting Kelsey right where I'm drafting Pitts. I might draft Kelsey ahead of him because I want to win now. This is tough right here. I'm leaning Barkley. I'm leaning Lamb. At what point do we push McCaffrey into this? Who's his QB? Who's your QB in San Francisco, Moonman Rick? His QB is either going to be Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, or Lamar Jackson. I firmly believe they'll get one of those done. I don't think Lamar's going there. AJ Brown's interesting. Waddle I like a lot. Kyle Pitts is interesting, but not this high. McCaffrey, it's like you still say Wilson without knowing who to keep. Bro, everyone in here is saying Wilson. Everyone's in here saying Wilson. I'm not the only one, Moon Man. I'm not the only one, bro. Read the room. Read the room, Moon Man. Take off your Niner goggles for a second and look around the room. Everyone loves Wilson. Raise your hand if you disagree with Wilson at 10. Waddle, AJ Brown, Devontae, CD is tough. And this is where I'm going to come into, stop looking at the future so much. Stop worrying, because at some point you do got to look at look at Moon Man Rick. He can't leave the Niners alone. Debo, no Debo. Debo in the top 12, Moon Man. You out of your mind? This guy's got injury written all over him. They don't use him right. His role's not defined. Top 10 wide receiver numbers are going to be tough enough for him, Moon Man. You can put him in your top 10 overall. I think there's a requirement that you got to leave your Niner goggles at the concierge desk, bro, when you walk into the live stream. St. Brown, Debo's not cracking the top 25. He'll be borderline, but he doesn't have a defined role, bro, anymore. Where's Christian McCaffrey? At what point do we say Christian McCaffrey plays for 1.5, 2 more years, and he's good enough to be borderline end of round 1? It's okay, Moon Man. We love you still. We know you're blinded. You're blinded by the red light. It's okay, bro. We accept you. We accept you the way you are. No bias. Yeah, right. And remember, we know you like CMC here, Moon Man Rick. Where's the rest of the normal population like CMC? At this point, I'm probably going to go... Barkley's interesting here. He's still got a handful of years left, right? St. Brown is only 23, very young. I like St. Brown too. CeeDee Lamb. Maybe we go lamb chops. He's only going to get better. I'm going to go Lamb at 12. Lamb at 12. What's up, Sam? Lamb at 12. Let me put Dynasty on here so if anybody doesn't come in, then I'll start freaking out. Dynasty top 25. Trevor Lawrence top 15? No. No. Yeah, I'm leaning ETN. He's just getting going. ETN. You guys like Barkley or CMC? Pollard's interesting, Gary. Addis says CMC's 25-30. That's a little late for me. AJ Brown's interesting here. Waddle's interesting. JT's still interesting. And I'm a little bit more about the now than I am the future. St. Brown's pretty good here. I don't have a problem with that. Let's go CMC. Barkley. St. Brown. Do we go AJ Brown? Where do we put JT? Let's open up the phone lines. You guys can call in while I'm doing this.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Call into the show. Let me see if I can put this over here. Put that over there. There we go. going to put the phone number right here. All right, dial in. What's up, Mark Cleveland? Mark Cleveland, where you been, bro? Burrow over Mahomes. We talked about swapping it. When I first listed it, I had it like this. And I'm telling you that I don't care. I don't care what your preference is. Mahomes, Burrow, Mahomes, doesn't matter. I love them both about the same. I have them both specifically ranked ahead of Allen and Hurts in Dynasty because of the running and the likelihood of like some sort of season-ending injury. Oh, here we go. We got a caller. I missed it. Call in again. Phone line's open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Now, this is going to get really nitpicky here. Everybody's going to get really nitpicky here. I understand you got your guys. So we got St. Brown. All the orange are wide receivers. The green are running backs. The blue are quarterbacks. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Call in again. Phone line's open.
Who's this?
Hello?
Who is this?
My name is Sam.
Sam? You not know your name?
Yep. No, Sam.
Okay, Sam. What can I do for you, Sam?
You're talking to a huge Jamar Chase fan.
Attaboy.
Been a big fan of his ever since LSU. I just want to ask you if you think he has a chance of being the best wide receiver of all time.
All time, probably a tall order, but like number one in Dynasty, I've got him number one, so I love him. But like to put him number one all time, I mean, I don't know that he's so good at a number of things, like number one, number two in the entire NFL at a number of things, but he's not like number one at everything. You know, so it's going to probably limit him to being like Randy Moss. It's going to limit him to being Jerry Rice. It's going to limit him from being those things. Like Randy Moss to me was the number one fantasy football wide receiver of all time. And he could just do everything. And I'm not saying that Jamar Chase can't learn things and maybe he proves that he can do even more things amazing. We'll see. But I would say all time, probably not, but not crazy. Hey, I added another caller here. Who are we talking to? You got a really loud background. Is this Laundromat London? Who is this? Hello? Hello?
Yo.
I hung up on him. He's too late. Call back again, bro. You took way too long to answer. What else are you thinking here, Sam? You looking at my board here. A lot of people are having problems with my quarterback placement. But this is not about where you draft them. This is not about where you draft them, Sam. I cannot repeat that enough. This is about where they belong. And if you can,
I got you.
You know, if you can take advantage of Allen Hurts, Mahomes, Burrow in the 12 to 18 or even 15 to 23 range, then you're taking candy from a baby. But to sit here,
I'm a big believer in. I'm a big quarterback early kind of guy, so I like taking the.
Yeah,
I like taking them at the spots you got.
Who do you like here? Who do you like here at this pick? This number 17. We've got Waddle.
17.
We got Waddle left. We have AJ Brown left. We have Devontae Adams. Some of the old dogs. Cooper Kupp. At some point they got to circle in because like if you're thinking that Cooper Kupp doesn't have 2 years left, I think you're underestimating him. And if you think 2 years. Yeah, if you think 2 years left isn't good, then I got a bridge to sell you. I got these padded cone helmets to sell you that will prevent concussions if you wear them. These cone heads will prevent. I'll sell you these. I have a whole box of them. If you believe Cooper Kupp is invaluable with 2 years left, but go ahead. Who do you like?
17. I would probably go either Kupp or. I'm personally a big Niner fan. This might be a bold call, but I think Brandon Ayuk is going to really step up here in the next coming years.
Look, I
I
thought
know,
you were
that's
gonna say.
a little early, but
I thought you were gonna say Debo, bro.
Debo.
I was sipping on my Meta Moon Prime when I was like, this guy's gonna say Debo, isn't he? He said Ayuk. I like Ayuk, but in the top 20, I think it's a little early. I think we'll wait on that.
Definitely bold, but I think Ayuk's going to surprise a lot of people next year. He's one of my personal moon men. I'm going to be trying to get after.
Oh yeah, bro, you almost had me choking there. Okay, I'm gonna go Cooper Kupp here. I think 2 years is plenty of time. And at some point, Adams has got. I think Adams has got 2 more years too. So we got to start thinking about Adams right here. AJ Brown. The question is, do you like Kupp? Do you like Kupp or Adams more than Olave or AJ Brown? Even though they're gonna last longer, but you got 2 years of Adams or Kupp at top 5 wide receiver levels. So it's like, what point do you... We got that caller back on the line, I think. You're live on the show. Are you ready to do it this time?
Yes, sir. Ready.
Who's this?
What's up, brother? It's Bud.
Who?
Bud.
Bud. What's up, Bud? This is the first Bud we've ever had call, and I call everybody Bud. I say, what's up, buddy? This is our first real Bud.
What's up, brother? Don't be confused with Bud Bundy. This is Bud Smoker.
This is... Okay, Bud. What's up, good buddy? Tell me what you're doing, buddy. What you like, Bud?
Let's talk quarterbacks. Like, I feel Rodgers will be so good with Miami because, the receivers create separation. So I feel like Rodgers will be on point with them. I feel like that's the best team that he could go to for like a year or two while we figure out what we want to do with Tua or, because I know Skyler Thompson not the answer at backup, but yeah. What's your thoughts on Rodgers to Miami? I feel like he would be good with Tyreek, good with Waddle. Like, what do you think?
Okay, good buddy. All right, listen, buddy. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You have been the perfect caller for me for the last 8 shows when I've been talking about quarterback movement, where Aaron Rodgers is going. Where have you been? Where have you been? We're in the smack middle of a Dynasty top 25 show. Smack dab in the middle of a top 25 Dynasty show. We can't be talking Aaron Rodgers, bro. But I will say that if Aaron Rodgers does land, let's talk a little Aaron Rodgers, little couple degrees of separation. If A-Rod lands in Miami, which I think is a favorite spot of mine, but I don't think it's as likely, then good buddy, you've got yourself...
Hey, Schmitty, one last thing. I'm talking more, not fantasy. I know there's a fantasy show, but I'm talking more like non-fantasy, which is probably where I made my mistake. But I'm talking just football.
Where you made your mistake is, and you didn't make a mistake. Look, I love talking football, especially with you, buddy. But you didn't make a mistake. But where you made it, if you want to call it a mistake, is you called into a Dynasty Top 25 show, and you want to talk about a quarterback and not talk fantasy at all. But I will say, Bud, that I think that I will say that if the Dolphins get Aaron Rodgers, they're a top 4 team. They're literally almost sleepwalking into a championship game. And then at that point, it's real high likelihood of a Super Bowl appearance. But let me just tell you this.
That's all I wanted to hear, because I'm not the only one thinking that. I feel like Rodgers could get him there at least to the AFC Championship game.
You know the sad part, though? This is kind of a pipe dream because Miami's not looking as of this moment. And this could change. Miami Mike needs to step up his game and send this man flowers and send him some Meta Moon Prime. Send him a set of golf clubs. He loves to golf. That he needs to send his fan base down to these golf courses like the Raiders are. The Raiders are filling up the peanut gallery with Raider fans, and Aaron Rodgers is literally lining up to putt at Pebble Beach, and they're like, "We love you, Rodgers. We're Raider fans. Hey, Rodgers, Devontae Adams has been looking for you the entire time." And he even said, he was interviewed. They said, "Hey, A-Rod, you got any favorite colors of teams or favorite cities you might want to drop and leave a little nugget here right with us?" And he said, "Well, let me just say this. There's a lot of Raider fans around here, and they're making a nice case and trying to, talk me into going there," paraphrasing. And I don't see Miami Mike sending his people down to Pebble Beach. How hard is it to send your people down to Pebble Beach? You got Raider fans down there, bro. So Miami Mike's, sleeping at the wheel right here. But let me get to Dynasty, because you called into a Dynasty Top 25 video. We don't want to cramp the style here. if Aaron Rodgers lands in Miami, that's 1 or 2 years of Aaron Rodgers. We'll call it one, where Waddle and Hill have monster seasons, which ultimately helps their value, which also ultimately helps their redraft value, which ultimately helps their dynasty value, and we're looking pretty good. It's also maybe a Super Bowl contending place to go play football if Aaron Rodgers steps away and leaves this vacancy, and this team has proven they can get to the Final Four, and you got now opening for another big quarterback to step in there. So it's beautiful. If you get Aaron Rodgers, which is not likely to happen, then, bro, sky's the limit. Lamar, as a comment just said here by Ada, if you get Lamar, if Miami Mike's aggressive enough, sky's the limit. If you get Derek Carr, you'll at least get up into the upper part of the sky. You may have some limits, but you're talking about him playing at Tua type capability, and that was pretty good. Tua was a top 6 quarterback, for a lot of the season. So if Carr ends up in Miami, that's good. That's really good for you. But you want it to be Lamar before that, and you want it to be Aaron Rodgers ultimately before that. All right, we got to get back on track here.
Smitty. Good stuff, Smitty. Love the show. Keep on keeping on.
All right, buddy. We'll see you, buddy. Good, buddy. Later. All right, Sam, buddy. Hey, Sam, buddy. Who are we putting here at 18? A.J. Brown? Are we putting Adams? We putting Olave? We throwing Diggs in here? Eckler? JT? I don't like Eckler here. JT? We going Kelsey with an old dog, saying give him 2 more years. Some are saying Debo. Some are saying Tyreek Hill. What are we doing here?
I think we got to go on a little receiver stretch here. I'm personally a big fan of Stephon Diggs here. I think he and Josh Allen finally kind of piece it together next year and make a legit run at the Super Bowl.
A little early for me.
Big numbers.
I respect your opinion, but I'm going to overrule you. I'm going to say A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown. Did I go Adams yet? I haven't gone Adams yet. It's Dynasty. I get it, but this is a 2-year window is fine with me. Is fine with me. Adams, I am more. Look, you can run your rankings. I'm not talking to you, Sam, good buddy. I'm talking to the keyboard warrior out there that's watching this on a replay, and they say, Adams, this is Dynasty, bro. I'll let you critiquing Caleb or critiquing Christopher run your rankings however you want. You can literally design Dynasty rankings around 100,000 different perspectives. And the lens I'm looking through is the lens I recommend all of you draft from, which is the win now while building future. Bijan's winning now. Bijan's in my top 5 redraft running backs. Do you understand how vital and how important and how valuable Bijan is in Dynasty? If I rank him top 5 in redraft, that's what you got to do. If you can combine Dynasty, bro, with the win now mentality when they all line up, explosion. And that's why these guys, I repeat, if you're turning this on midstream and you think I actually would draft Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen and Hurts at 6, 7, 8, 9, you're not paying attention. This is rankings. You take these into your draft. You use ADP and flow of draft to dominate your league because these guys should be here, but you're not going to draft them there because your league doesn't know what time it is. Adams.
I got a name to throw out to you here, Smitty, that I think you might like.
Do it.
What do you think about Javonte in the next 2 years?
I like Javonte, but the concern I have is his knee injury was so much worse.
Yeah, that one really hurt me.
We need to wait. Even though I was very tempted to throw Javonte on the Moon Man list as soon as we heard that, they're getting Sean Payton, but he might not even play week 1. Like, until we know he's ahead of schedule, he might not play week 1. We may not see it. I'm more apt to put a Charbonnet or a Sean Tucker or something. And again, understand, guys, watching right now, that if I put Sean Tucker or Charbonnet here, you better not draft him there. You better not draft him there, or you aren't listening. And in fact, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it now live. Charbonnet, welcome to the top 20. Nailed it. Number 20. Olave? How about Olave?
I like Olave.
Okay, let's do Olave. 21 is Olave.
Concerned with the quarterback situation in New Orleans.
Another good point by Travis. Where JT? I mean, you got to put JT on here at some point, right? I got to move on.
Yeah, I'm ready to fall back into that trap again.
I mean, you put it that way, bro.
I love him as a player.
You put it that way. Come on. Let me move all these around. I gotta squeeze in. So many more players to be top 25. So I gotta move all these over. So Barkley, we got St. Brown at 16. We got Cooper Kupp at 17. We've got at 18, we've got A.J. Brown. At 19, we've got Adams. At 20, we got Charbonnet. Deal with it, keyboard warriors out there that are literally sharding in their pants right now when they see Charbonnet in my top 20. Oh, do you see this guy? His QBs are early. He likes Charbonnet, who's never taken a snap. Bijan's never taken a snap. He's got Bijan at number 3. What's this guy on? Charbonnet. Okay, I think we can fit the top 25 in now. 21's Olave. We're running out of space now. Who do we have? 22, 23, 24, 25. 22. I'm sorry, who was the guy you wanted to go with next? Not that I'm going to...
22?
Yeah.
22, I'd probably go Diggs.
You make a good argument there, because I'm looking around and I'm like, you know what? Diggs has got to go soon. JT and Diggs?
Yeah, those are my next two.
Okay, let's do that. I think that's pretty good. We'll go JT and Diggs.
I got a question for you here, Smitty.
Yeah, hit me with it.
I know you're hesitant with Javonte after the ACL.
I'm not hesitant if we get good word. We just can't blindly go into it. You know what I mean? But yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I got you. Me personally, I'm in college right now, and I played football in high school, and I actually tore my ACL junior year. So I know kind of all the mental aspects of kind of what it takes to get back from it and get your confidence back in it. I love Breece Hall and Javonte Williams. I just am curious why you're a lot more confident with Breece than you are with Javonte.
It's a good question.
Is there something that you've heard?
Yeah, it's a good question that I've answered 1,000 times, but I don't mind because you can't watch every hour of my stream, so I understand that you'd miss it. But I have answered this thousands of times. Not really, probably like 40. But the reality is that Breece Hall's knee injury was a lot less severe. There were more ligaments involved in Javonte's. It was the MCL, the LCL, the ACL, I believe even the PCL. Let me see. I think he tore his PCL too. It was a J.K. Dobbins tear, bro. And J.K. Dobbins wasn't even close to ready for week 1, if you remember. So Javonte's got a much tougher situation. Breece Hall tore just his ACL. And you could literally tell just, from the get-go, in my opinion, given how young he is, given that it was a nice tear, that he had the best shot. And we didn't know for sure, but I said, I have a funny feeling. I said this for months before it happened, before the news broke that said that he was doing well. I said, I have a funny feeling, you can go back and watch streams on it, that we're going to get word that he's way ahead of schedule. And what do we hear? Just not too long ago, he is way ahead of schedule. And what is my next prediction? We're gonna if Roger, if you can mute real quick, we got some major reverb. Sounds like you're at the laundromat, bro. So what do we? Yeah, Roger, mute yourself real quick. You're on hold, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are we gonna hear next, Sam? We're going to hear that he looks like he never tore his ACL. That's going to be my prediction for the next piece of news we get on Breece Hall. It looks like he didn't even tear his ACL. He looks absolutely 100. And I'm not saying he will be. There were certain limitations. Your brain has to, like you, I tore everything Javonte did. I've had Javonte's knee injury, except for the PCL, which I think he did tear as well. I'm blanking on if he actually tore that, but it's just a different injury, bro. It's 10 times worse, the injury. But if we were to hear that Javonte was ahead of schedule and he was going to look totally ready for camp, I would change my tune. But Breece Hall is probably going to be ready for camp. He won't be like Barkley or J.K. where they're pushing it to get on the field in week 1. Barkley was barely cutting. He was cutting with pads on, or not even pads on. He had a helmet and like shoulder pads on. And like a week before the season, he was cutting for the first time. Not with players on the field, like running routes and cutting. He was so far away from being ready. Breece Hall is going to be taking hits and looking like he's not being restricted, like at some point in camp. And that's going to make him just, a crazy, bet to bounce back. More of the Adrian Peterson level of an ACL rebound versus going the JK or Barkley route. Roger, what can we help you with?
I just want to tell you that I don't see how Galen Waddle is not in your top 10 in Dynasty.
I'm looking at it right now, and I feel like Waddle, I almost forgot Waddle when I got to Christian McCaffrey, which was 14. And then, I kind of got lost where I was putting Waddle in. And I kind of feel like he needs to be moved up. I do agree. I don't know about top 10. That's a little high. But I do like Waddle a lot. I just think ETN, Lamb, Gibbs, Wilson, the quarterbacks. And this might be a situation where you're drafting Waddle ahead of the quarterbacks. And to my earlier point, you're not drafting these guys at 6, 7, 8, 9, these quarterbacks. So Waddle is probably going to be lifted up. And then these 4 quarterbacks will be
but
drafted.
wide receivers last so much longer than running back.
Right.
That's you're talking about a guy that can last 10, 12 years to compare to a running back that lasts 5 to 6.
That's why we got Chase and JJ at 1 and 2, and that's why we got Wilson at 10. But the bottom line is Waddle's injury prone, I believe, and I like him a lot. But I don't know that he's going to give us 10 healthy seasons. I fear that there will be some injury plagued seasons in there. He just seems like he's injury prone. Maybe he shakes that label. I know it's unfair to coin him as an injury guy, but maybe he proves me wrong, and that's fine. I'm open-minded to that. But I think St. Brown, Kupp, A.J. Brown, CMC, Barkley, ETN, even if CMC gives you 2 years, again, from the beginning, I'm not sure if you joined late, but my mentality in Dynasty is not 4, 5, 6 years. My mentality in Dynasty is 2-year window. You play for 2 to dip into the 3-year window, because too many leagues crumble in year 3 and 4. I can't tell you how many people.
I appreciate your opinions, Smitty. Yours are the best, but But I just think Waddle is the guy is top 10 in my opinion, Dynasty. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just see him as a top 10 wide receiver from here on out for years to come.
Yeah, I mean,
but
you might be right. But
they need to get a quarterback because Tua, he's one concussion away from being out of the league, in my opinion.
AJ Green retired. Coach Hugh Jackson can be shocked. Oh no, AJ Green can still play. AJ Green can still play.
What do you think about T. Higgins?
I like T. Higgins, but not here. Not yet. Over and out. Roger, you're not wrong on Waddle. I just think that I think these are all arguable. To argue Waddle inside the 10, I'm fine with the 10, 11, 12, 13, or whatever if you like Waddle there. But I could argue every single one of these guys over Waddle because I just feel like Kupp's going to give me 2 elite years. 2 elite years. I mean, 2. He could still trickle in some 1 or 2 more, good seasons that are maybe 10-game elite seasons, but he misses time or something like that. But 2 good years. And to me, if I'm drafting in Dynasty, I'm trying to get people to understand that I watch. You gotta I have a text line. You guys all know from thefantasyfootballshow.com. Go to thefantasyfootballshow.com and get your text advice, your your one-on-one text device, and all your content galore. But you wouldn't believe how many people I work with. This text line's been out I had email advice and it morphed into text advice. So really I've had the product for like 15 years. It's just, it converted to text.
Oh yeah, you give the best advice.
So
you're the only one I listen to.
But here's the point, Roger, is that I've worked with people over the course of 15, 18 years through this email and text morphed into text service where I've seen time and time again somebody convince me that they're building for the future. And I'm like, bro, you should take this trade. And they're like, no, I'm building for the future. And they argue with me. And if I concede to whatever you want me to guide you on. If someone says, just help me build a team that has all these draft picks for 2024, 2025. Everybody wanted these 2023 picks. So like in 2021, for the Bijan, people wanted Bijan. This was the draft that people have been preparing for over 2 years, the 2023 draft. This draft could be one of the best fantasy football draft classes we've ever had.
Oh, so there's no doubt.
People have been grooming their teams for it. And I can't tell you how many times 2 years ago I told people, you're worrying about 2 years in advance, bro. Your league could close.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that you'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. I would say about 30% of the time. 30% is a big number. 30% of the time, the trades that we pull off in these contexts of going 2 and 3 years down the road, the person ends up emailing me saying the league collapsed. The league closed. 3 guys left. We couldn't fill it.
I agree.
Or the worst one, we're redrafting. We're redrafting. Everybody voted to redraft, bro. And you have all these 2023 picks, and now you can't even use them. So this is why I say Christian McCaffrey's
think it's the best running back draft class ever. I mean, I'm not going to say anything else, but I mean, as far as quarterback, wide receiver, it's not great.
Yeah.
But running back, this has got to be the best class I've ever seen.
Yep.
I mean, I got guys in the third round that could be first rounders in most years.
Yes, sir. All right, Roger. Appreciate you calling in, pal.
All right, Smitty, I appreciate you, buddy.
Over and out.
All right, later.
All right, Sam, you got anything else you want to add to this before I let you jump? I'm going to get some other callers in here. Dial into the phone number, guys. It's right here. Any final words here, Sam? Who do we need to move?
I got a question. Just about, I know you're big on the rookie class this year. The only real position that I haven't really done my work in is with the quarterbacks. I know we don't know landing spots and whatnot, but is there any quarterback that you think could be top 12 to 8 in this upcoming year?
I mean, I like Stroud a lot. I like Bryce Young a lot. Like, I mean, there's several quarterbacks. I'm going to do a quarterback ranking video. I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to spill the beans too much on it because I have the wide receiver videos coming out. I have the running backs. I'm already everyone knows where my running backs are at this point. But I'd say that I don't have anybody leapfrogging Stroud or Bryce Young. I think one of the two, I kind of lean Bryce Young, assuming his measurables are all good and he comes out of the pro days and combines without, getting devalued a ton, which would affect if people are devaluing him. Let's say he comes in really short or whatever. People have been saying that, and I don't necessarily believe it, but let's say he came in at 5'10". That was one of the rumors. Who was it that said that? Someone came in here, they're like, Smitty, I guarantee you he's coming in at 5'10". Like that would be catastrophic for his draft value. So then it would trickle down and plummet, his value and maybe hurt his landing spot. And maybe, we saw Malik Willis just go from like being a top 10 pick to not even I forget what pick he went, but he just kept tumbling. Yeah, he kept tumbling. And so he ended up not getting a good shake because that affects you. But I would say if Bryce Young ends up measuring in well, and he impresses, and he goes number 1 or number 2, I really like him. I think he has a shot at being a top 10 guy. A shot, not a guarantee, not locking him there.
Got you.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Chiefs money line, Super Bowl.
All right, later. Bud says switch Cup with Lamb. Not in Dynasty, bro. Not in Dynasty, but I appreciate you. Lamb deserves top 12. Let's see here. Who's going? I think we said JT, right? I think we said JT. JT needs to go. So I still got, who do I got? Still got Kelsey out there. I still got Pitts out there. I still have Javonte Diggs. Kelsey, Christian Watson. Like here's the thing. I think we got to go Diggs here. Even if it's 2 years, it's still worth it. Here's the thing, is I've been getting some pretty awesome offers from Spacula. You guys saw it live on the show the other day, where he's giving me, like, you know, not the best offers in the world, but he started to up them a little bit. He started giving me the 1.8 and a 2024 first rounder, and trying to give me some other player or two. And he's trying to get Kelsey, and I keep just shutting it down. I'm like, no, I don't want. I'm not giving. I'd rather ride Kelsey until the wheels fall off, and instead of giving you Travis Kelsey for 2 years, if he still can play at a high level for 2 years. I do worry about him breaking down. It's been a long run, but he is kind of an anomaly so far. So I feel like this is the point where Kelsey still goes like around this territory. You could say Pollard. Why'd I stop at 24? Oh, this is 25. This is number 25. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, I got it correct. I didn't skip any, right? No. This is where you literally say to yourself, is it Tony Pollard? Is it Devontae Smith? Is it Debo? Is it Tyreek Hill? Hill's an arguable piece here. I love Tony Pollard here, but we just don't know. So I'm going to wait on that. Kyle Pitts I like a lot here. Who are we going with to this spot right here? Appreciate you, Roger. JSN. Do we? Let's do this. Let's go. Let's go this. Let's do this. JSN, Hill, Kelsey, Pitts. You could argue Debo around this area if you wanted, but I'm going to keep him out of my top 25. I just don't trust him. You could argue Tony Pollard. You could argue Christian Watson. You could argue Josh Jacobs if you wanted. I'm just not buying into the long-term value of him. You could argue Eckler. I know a lot of people are going to be really upset Eckler's not on this list, but he's 28 years old. Henry's 29 years old. I'm not putting them. There is something to playing for the now, but I also predict them to downfall in 2023. Herbert, he's got to bounce back before I put Herbert here, even though we loved him so much. We all did. DK's interesting. T. Higgins is interesting. Najee's interesting. Ramondre, you could talk about. And then Sean Tucker even. But this is it. Is that the famous prime? Yeah, it sure is, bro. Sure is. Cheers, bro. That's it. That's my top 25 Dynasty rankings for 2023 and beyond. And it's going to rattle a bunch of people's trees. You know, it's going to ruffle some feathers. It's going to poke some bears out there. There are going to be a lot of you that aren't happy with these quarterback rankings, and there are going to be a lot of you that don't pay attention. And I'm not saying you guys watching currently. These are for the viewers that are watching and screaming and saying, Smitty, hey, I don't understand why you would rank quarterbacks that high, broski. I don't understand. Smitty, let's go 2 hours tonight. Probably not, Liz. We're probably just going to do the 1 hour right now. But this is it. This is your top 25 Dynasty rankings from my 2 year to 3 year window of time as to where I recommend you draft from to make sure you're not playing for 4 or 5 years down the road on a league that's probably going to collapse and redraft. That's the worst. Sometimes the league collapses and everybody stays, but everybody convinces everybody because they have such crappy teams because they made bad trades and they traded away their future and everything, and you've got all their picks, and they go and outvote you and they say, let's redraft. Let's redraft. Yeah, we got 2 new owners. We're just going to go ahead and redraft. And everybody's going to redraft, or the league's going to fall apart. They're going to try and replace 2 guys that drop out. Then another 2 players drop out. And eventually the 3rd or 4th year, they just say, we can't fill it. I'm sorry. The league collapses. And the commissioner's fed up. No one wants to commission the league anymore. And somebody's playing 4 years down the road. 4 years down the road. And this whole notion that you shouldn't be ranking quarterbacks this high on your rankings, not your ADP, not where you draft them. You need to wake up and look at the way that the fantasy football landscape is now. These are the guys that walk you to the promised land. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Hurts. These are the guys that, no, you don't draft them at 6, 7, 8, 9, but I rank them there, which means that when you're sitting there on 15 on the clock, 15 overall, and one of these guys is sitting there, you don't bat an eye. You draft one of them at 15, 17, 19, 22, because I rank them this high. If you get one of my 8, 9, 6, or 7 ranked players at number 16, 17, 22, you might as well walk to the bank. You know what I'm saying? Burn some calories, go to the bank, get a little advance, because they're going to say, if you slap your roster up against that glass, they're going to say, bro, I haven't seen a team built like that in ages. Let me give you a little advance on your entry fee, broski. Okay? We definitely went wide receiver free for a while, but I kind of feel like, you know, Wilson and Lamb and St. Brown and Cup and A.J. Brown. I love Wilson. Wilson could climb closest to these 2, but it really is a big tier separation between Chase and J.J. in Dynasty. And this, I like this JSN, Hill, Kelsey crew down here. Herbert is fine. Brian MC. I mean, we'll have to see, bro. I definitely don't hate Herbert. I mean, we loved him last year, but I'm not jumping on yet. I know you're a big Charger fan, so you're hopeful, but we need to see it. And then there's talk, I don't believe the rumors, but there's talk about releasing Keenan Allen. If that happens, then what the heck's gonna happen, bro? Who's he throwing to? You know, if the Chargers somehow trade up and find a way to draft JSN, then we'll be talking, bro. Where's your pick? Chargers. You have 21. I don't think JSN's fallen to 21. You got to trade up. If you trade up from 21 to get JSN, you and I, Brian, are going to have a conversation about where Herbert's going to go. You know what I'm saying? Christian Watson at 4 top 10 finishes. I know, I love him. You could put Watson. You want to put Watson in here? Let's do this. Let's do Hill and Diggs at this spot right here, just so we can fit more people in this top 25. And then right here, we're gonna put C Watt. How's that, broski? There we go. Let's move 25 over a little bit. There we go. Now we can fit it in. Look at that. How you like that? How you like them apples, bro? JSN, C Watt, Kelsey, Kyle Pitts. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. That's it. That's my top 25. My top 25 does not mean you draft off it. You take advantage of it. You massage it into the draft, bro. You take the ADP and the flow of draft and you manipulate yourself into a position to steal away the guys I have ranked super high, because this is how I see it. This is how I see it. And we kind of did it together. This is how I see it. And then if you can take advantage of it instead of drafting off it, I can't tell you how many people are going to say, Smitty, I just did a dynasty draft. I took your video and I took your advice and I took Mahomes at number 6. And I'm like,
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
you can't take these guys where I ranked them. I don't know how much more I can stress it. Someone in the comments is going to say it. I know it. I'm going to have to send about 10, 15 people on a lap. Smitty, don't quarterbacks, I don't understand. Josh Allen, doesn't he go in round 3? There's no way I'm drafting a quarterback that high. Burrow under Mahomes? There's just no way you can have Josh Allen at 2 or 3 and not 1. Breece Hall, didn't he tear his ACL? Who's JSN?
You've just
Anyway. Appreciate you all. Josh Allen on a downward spiral. Molly Water, you know I appreciate you, but that's a little bit. You never know. But I don't feel that way. A-Rod and Dynasty isn't ever even a conversation. But here's the thing. You're drafting in a league where you're scooping up and you're cleaning up, right? Maybe you don't get a quarterback. Maybe you take Bijan. Maybe you're taking Garrett Wilson. Maybe you get St. Brown and you're waiting. Late quarterback, going after a veteran is an attractive move because you got to have some veterans. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some veterans on your team. An all-nighter, not doing an all-nighter Moonman Rick, but I thought about there's some people that are trying to outdo me with their live streams, and this whole going live when Aaron Rodgers makes an announcement, going live when Aaron Rodgers is traded. We may go live for 10, 15, 12 straight hours when Aaron Rodgers trade happens. Call it the 10-hour Aaron Rodgers live stream. Hopefully it doesn't get announced at the wrong time so I can do it, but I might title it whatever I can do at the moment. Let's say the Aaron Rodgers news breaks at midnight. I could probably pull it off. If it happens like at 2 p.m., I'll probably have things in the middle of my day that I can't just go live for 10 straight hours. But if something happens late in the nighttime, especially if it's a Friday night, I think we might just do an Aaron Rodgers, maybe in dedication to his jersey number, 12. We go live for 12 straight hours. JSN, just say no. Just say yes, Brian, is the real thing. Big O says, Smitty, what do you recommend in Superflex Dynasty Startup? That is where you see these 4 quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, 4, and probably Fields, probably 1 or 2 more quarterbacks. At least the top 5, at least Fields and the top 4 guys. So all top 5 quarterbacks. Herbert maybe even is in there. And then it's like, Chase, JJ, Bijan, Hall, Walker, and kind of continues on like normal for a little while, but then you're mixing in a couple quarterbacks, and by the time you get to the end of like the 25 to 30 total player number, you have like, I don't know, 12, 15 quarterbacks gone. Charbonnet 20 times. Charbonnet at 20 makes me want to puke. Why, Mondo? Have you ever tried a glass of bubbling? We chill it. We like to chill it. Bubbling, cold, ice cold Charbonnet, bro?
Get Charbonnet. Pop open a nice bottle of Charbonnet.
Have you ever even tried it? Bro? I don't think you have. Because if you had, you wouldn't be talking puke or smack about our boy Charbonnet, who happens to be a moon man.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
It's okay. I still appreciate you, but why you want to barf at Charbonnet at number 20, bro? Ramondre over Charbonnet, and it's not even close. Bro, you're talking to the guy that touted Ramondre more than any YouTuber you've come across. So I like Ramondre. But doesn't mean you got to tear down Charbonnet to like Ramondre. But also, Ramondre, there's some concern about the state of the offense. There's some concern about the state of what, where Bill sees him. And Bill drafts 2 to 3 rookie running backs all the time, bro. So guarantee they draft at least 1, probably 2 running backs in this draft class. And if Sean Tucker or someone like that gets snagged by Bill, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to puke. You think you're going to puke? I'm going to puke. There's no for sure guarantee. There's no for sure guarantee. He kind of started to fall out of favor a tiny bit. But I love Ramondre. Doesn't mean Ramondre not being in the top 25 is no disrespect to him. I think he's borderline 26 to 30. I just think you got to package in a little bit of Bill Belichick risk. Just a little bit. Waddle disrespected, yeah. I admitted that, but I mean, what do you do? Where do you take him out? Like, where do you move him? Like he is the second wide receiver on the team for the next 1 to 2 years. He is kind of injury prone until he shakes that label off. And so, I feel like while it looks disrespectful, it's still fitting. I like Olave a little bit more. I like Charbonnet more than I like Waddle. I just do. That's just me. That's me being predictive. Adams for 2 years over Waddle. Again, depends on the lens you're looking from, but JSN versus Gibbs in Dynasty. I got Gibbs at 11. I've got JSN at 25. JSN could definitely climb. Andre says, the way Bill Belichick uses his running back, then no way I'd put Ramondre in the top 25. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's nothing to do with Ramondre. I feel like I'm one of the biggest. I don't think you can find an analyst that was hyping up Ramondre like I was. I was hyping up Ramondre last year in the preseason when I saw him ripping off big, long runs, and I'm like, this guy is a moon man. Just needs the opportunity to get on the moon man list, and we loved Ramondre. And we didn't have the moon man list. We called him that all the time. This was not this year. We're talking about the year prior, before we did the moon man list. He was like our moon man. We talked about him all the time. I love Ramondre. You can't convince me that Ramondre's, you can't convince me he's not an electric, elite, amazing player. But there's some risk you need to package in my opinion. And this is good, Mondo, because I feel like the industry feels this way about him. So you're probably Mondo going to get him in the territory that makes you feel like, oh my God, everyone's overlooking him, and that's fantastic for you. That's fantastic for you, because if Ramondre is totally unleashed again in 2023, and I think there's a really good chance he could be, but there's also a small chance that I worry about Bill. You were cheering Ramondre over Damian. Absolutely, bro. I loved Ramondre. I'm out of here. Appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you on the flip side. Peace out. Thank you for being here. Did I miss any super chats? Let me check. I think I got to everybody's question that had posted. Let's see here. Chris Olave. Yeah, we got Chris Olave on the board, baby. He's there. He's there, good buddy. Charbonnet reminds me of Le'Veon Bell. Agree. That said, in a redraft, I could see Ramondre where Ramondre could be a top 5 running back. For sure. But Bill drafts multiple rookies every year, running backs. Multiple. And so it's a worry. And Ramondre didn't have the best finish. And, he was responsible for some downfall and some losses, in Bill's mind. That whole lateral situation, which he ignited and kickstarted in the Raiders on the walk-off defensive touchdown. And then the costly fumble the next week. So there's some concern, a little bit. Just to package in, 26 to 30 is why he's there. All right, guys, appreciate you. Dynasty, let's go. I don't know how much, I'm still weighing how much Dynasty I want to do on the other channel. I don't unsubscribe to that channel because I still very much might roll out tons of Dynasty, but I have been mulling over the thinking that do we do we need the Dynasty channel like I've been wanting to need it? Because during the off season, you know, we can talk about Dynasty till our heart's content here, and we will. And I just don't want to. I don't want to spread myself too thin, also, and I want to make sure this channel explodes. And I don't want to dilute this over here to try and build something else. But at the same time, it's nice to have Dynasty focused on one channel, so you know what you're exactly getting and you know how to find it. Although we can categorize on the main homepage Dynasty and redraft, but can I drop a voicemail again in the next stream? Got an interesting question. Are you on in the voicemail group, Arizona, on Instagram? If so, absolutely. All right, I'll see you all. Get on over to my Instagram. Anybody that wants to be in the voicemail crew, because you can't leave voicemails on that phone number. I don't answer. This is the Instagram voicemails. Just click subscribe on my profile on Instagram. I will add you to a private group of people that pay $4.99 a month. So they're very serious about it. And if you ask a question in there, everybody gets back to you quickly because they're all paying $4.99. So they're obviously, you know, like-minded individuals. And if you hold down the microphone button, you can leave a voicemail, and I'll see those. And everybody knows, you know, the voicemails that are left are mine, you know, and so I just play them on the show. So you can leave them, you know, daily if you want. So it's a great way to get direct access for me to get your question and voice heard on the show and my answer. So get on over to The Fantasy Football Show on IG and then DM me after so I can put you in that private group. I'll see you all later. Ada, I'm going to do some Dynasty stuff or some Underdog drafts. Yeah, get on over to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit at Underdog if you use the link. I'm going to put the link in the live chat right now. You guys can click that link. And if you want to get into the drafts that we do, that's the link that you want to hit right there. I just dropped it because that'll help you sign up and get ready to go. And that way you don't miss the drafts when we jump in them, and instead of having to sign up and you're not gonna be able to jump in time. So do that ahead of time. The link has been dropped, and we'll do some early drafts for sure. Pretty much we'll do a couple of the big game drafts for the Super Bowl, and then we'll do some obviously some early best ball till our heart's content all off season long. So click that link. Appreciate you all. Later, Casey. Appreciate you. Later, Arizona. Later, Andre. Shady, appreciate you. Ada, appreciate you. Rashid, appreciate you. Travis. Big O. Molly Water. Roger. Over and out. Abaki, appreciate you. Casey. I think I said Casey. Mondo. Hike and Deep. Bud Smoker, appreciate you, bud. Buddy boy.